Welcome back to Sen News. As always, I'm your host, Rick Ramen Noodle. It's currently 5 p.m. on Wednesday, April 20th, and time for your daily dose of the news and happenings all across the country. Kicking things off first with our headline story, a military helicopter stationed in the South Province executed a training exercise today that went horribly wrong, resulting in no injuries but quite a scare for the crew. The helicopter was executing a routine test of how far the helicopter could go before the primary fuel tank was depleted and the reserve tank kicked in. Everything was going smoothly until an estimated 10 minutes into the flight when the tank change was expected to occur. The pilot noticed that the primary tank was empty, but the reserve one had not yet been filled up. I can't imagine what he must have been feeling. That would have been terrifying to experience. Luckily, the pilot was experienced and remained calm, gliding the helicopter as it slowed. At the time of the loss of fuel, the helicopter's rotor was turning at 350 revolutions per minute. The expert gliding skills of the pilot made it so that a minute and a half into the crisis, the rotor had slowed only to 260 revolutions per minute. After just 5.5 minutes, the helicopter came to a safe landing in a field near the border of Potato Zone. A rescue mission was concocted, and the pilot was retrieved safely and given 2 months of paid vacation. Now I'll turn it over to our weatherman, Dr. Reynolds Precipitation, for today's forecast. Thanks, Rick. Boy, do we have a weather story for you today. But first, for your forecast. Today was quite the doozy, with tornadoes and storms ravaging the province. Temperatures range from 70 to 80 degrees, but no one in their right mind was spending today outdoors. Here in the red was the center of the storm, which got over 10 inches of rain. We here at Sen News hope everyone made it through the storm safely, as we know some did not. A 20-year-old paraglider named Marcia Maracas was caught in one of the tornadoes in the north regions and was quickly swept upward. She was carried at an astonishing 3,000 feet per minute, which must have been quite the scary experience. The cold was bad too. Based on temperature data in the area, along with how fast she was moving, we calculated that she was experiencing a temperature change of 21 degrees per minute, all the way up to 16,000 feet, where it was just 2 degrees Fahrenheit. After exiting the tornado, Ms. Maracas crashed into a forest and miraculously survived. She's now in the hospital awaiting treatment for several broken bones and has stated in the future she'll check the forecast before paragliding. Wow, what a crazy way to spend your day. Now to our sports master, Vladimir Lacrosse, for your sport report. Hey guys, it's your boy, Vladimir Lacrosse, coming at you from Lacrosse the Pond. This week was a big week for sports, with NCAA basketball and swimming both having championship weekends. We crowned Villanova on the men's side and UConn on the women's. It's been a good week for schools with blue as their school colors, as we also had California taking the men's swimming championship. We also have new developments with NASCAR, who's testing out new cars to be used in next week's Daytona 500. They're currently testing fuel consumption by driving the cars for half an hour and measuring the fuel consumption based on its miles per gallon and speed increase. Since this can vary, the car folk are estimating using the upper and lower estimates. This way, they can put in just enough for the car to be able to make it the entire half hour without putting extra fuel in to weigh down the car. They really do mean business. Thanks, Vlad. Always nice to hear your lovely voice. Next up is our entertainment and pop culture segment, brought to you by Reporter Spilled Milkshake. Hello, world. It's your boy, Spilled Milkshake, coming at you with a metal straw and a banger story. As you know, throughout the ages, mathematicians all over the world have never been able to undo derivatives calculated using the chain rule. The chain rule has been a staple of difficulty in high schools for years, but we have never been able to go backwards from the derivative back to the original. Until now. Dr. Jat Monson, through his life's work, has found a way to reverse the course of time and undo a derivative. This fascinating discovery was appropriately and boringly named an antiderivative. His method of finding them was named substitution, but he thinks that there may be even more ways of finding them. We can only hope that someday someone will be smart enough to find them. Today, we will be discussing how he did it. Here is a common derivative. That little there sign at the beginning is an integral symbol telling you to find the antiderivative. Here is how the genius did it. As you can see, he used an entirely different variable, u, to simplify the problem. Isn't that fascinating? This is a life changer for calculus classes worldwide, and we should thank Dr. Monson for his contributions to math students suffering. Back to you, Rick. Quite the snooze fest for entertainment today, folks, am I right? Because math is boring? No? Alright. Anyways, next up is... Oh? I'm hearing that there's an emergency development in the North regions? And we have a field reporter on the scene? Well, let's get to it. Hi. It's me, your field reporter, Dr. Reporty McPortison. The young unreliable geyser is about to erupt. It hasn't erupted in over 18 years. Look, here it goes now. Wow, that geyser shoots the water up at an astonishing 160 feet per second. And after that, due to gravity, the water falls back to Earth at 32 feet per second squared. With this information, we can calculate how high the water gets. Since it occurs when velocity is 0, 160 over 32 gives us 5 seconds of uptime. Then we can use geometry and calculus to find that the highest point is 400 feet in the air. Wow! Thanks, Reporty. Always a pleasure. Our last story for the evening features our special guest, Cash Capitalist. Hey Cash, how are you on this fine evening?
I'm great, Rick.
We brought you on here today because you recently bought a company creating boots. Is that right?
Yes, I have. Licked Boots Incorporated.
Awesome! We were wondering about the cost of making the boots. How do you decide when it's a good to add another pair of boots to your collection?
Well, we have an equation that tells us what the average cost per boot is. We can use that to find the total cost of whatever number of boots we've made. It's important to know your marginal cost when creating a new boot. Just last week, I created our marginal cost ahead of the release of our new boot, the lovely Curb Stomper 2000. We calculated that our marginal costs are at a minimum when the additional cost per boot is $1. So we need to make sure that this new boot only costs within $1 to make as our other boots. Luckily, we figured out this through the help of our sales specialists, and the Curb Stomper will be on shelves near you in no time.
Well, Cash, thanks for your time. And for our loyal audience, each one of you will be receiving a new pair of Licked Boots from Licked Boots Incorporated. You get a boot! You get a boot! You all get boots! You want to be in the video? You can be in the video. Good cat. Well, that does it for our nightly edition of Send News. As always, I'm Rick Ramen Noodle. Godspeed to you all, and see you in the morning.